sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the Sunshine State and Everbank Stadium here in Jacksonville. Here's the rookie from Arkansas, Cam Little, ready to get us started.
And off we go from Jacksonville.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. First carry for Josh Jacobs. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Love, they go play action now. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Brought down by Trayvon Walker on the pass rush. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at 3rd down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long.
Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On 1st down, they go with Jacobs again. Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space. But there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
And they'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. Off the play fake, Love. He finds his man, complete. It's Reed. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical. They've been crisp. And as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
To throw now. Here's Love. Incomplete. Christian Watson, the man he was looking for. But it'll be 2nd and goal.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
A line of scrimmage, once again the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Again, it's Love. He's got it. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Jacobs. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, They've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10.
At their own 26. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
He'll get this into the hands of the wideout from LSU.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd down and 4. They'll run for the first time with Travis Etienne.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
3rd and 4. Now Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to Etienne.
And he won't get to the marker. He's a yard short. A pickup of 3. It leaves him with 4th and 1.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline.
The Packers offense here coming back out for their 2nd drive.
They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Play fake. Here's Love. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
That one came up just a little bit short. I'm wondering, is he still a little bit tight as this game starts? What would you say? Maybe he's got to take the governor off of it?
Or maybe the donut off the baseball bat like the guys in the on-deck circle?
I like that. Yeah, just take that little extra weight off of him and start to play freely.
Out of the shotgun, it's Love. Short throw, he's got Kraft.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
He'll swing that out wide to Jacobs.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 12 more yards there and another 1st down.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Here's Jacobs from the gun. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
His first carry of their 2nd drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
Well, the pressure gets to Love, and he'll go down. Trayvon Walker. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play.
The last run went so well for them. Maybe they should have just handed it off right here, too. Instead, the quarterback ends up keeping it, and the defense is right on him and wipes away the yardage gained on the last snap.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down.
Love looking to throw it.
And the Jags get to him as down he goes. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on third down.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
On 4th down, the Packers call on Daniel Whelan to punt.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. ETN. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Now Lawrence to throw. Open man, this is Brenton Strange, the tight end.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
On play action, Lawrence. That is caught.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That'll go as a pickup of 8.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Lawrence will throw.
Washington's got him. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Running out of the gun with ETN.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
Credit the defense there to Quay Walker, getting behind the line of scrimmage before they could rip off any sort of a gain. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Jacksonville, and it's the Jags with the football as they've got it 2nd down and 12.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
Lawrence.
And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down.
Rashawn Gary that time fighting free and getting to the quarterback.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. Second and manageable became third and long. The drive marching to the end zone is one play from stalling out.
On third down, here's Etienne.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a fourth down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Now Love. Able to find his man, Kraft.
And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Short throw. He's got Kraft.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Jacobs going to try the middle.
And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory.
52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
They go bootleg. Love. He hits Dobbs on the crosser.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Throwing. Love. Short throw. He's got Kraft.
So the completion good for just 3. And it's 2nd down.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
2nd and 9. Once again, it's Jacobs.
And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
The offense on 3rd down, they've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Over the middle here, it's hauled in by Watson. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Is this a hold, or did they rough the quarterback?
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal.
On the handoff, this is Jacobs.
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown.
Josh Jacobs
With his 2nd touchdown here in this first half.
And the Packers go up by 2 touchdowns. So his strong first half continues as he finds the end zone here for the 2nd time.
And definitely good blocking at the point of attack. And you just have to love watching the way he can create space down near the goal line. And he's able to take it into the end zone.
McManus's point after is good. And that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And just shutting him off there. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
11 yards for number 11.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
ETN up the middle.
And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Now they show jet sweep, but instead a run up the middle here. Brought down that time by Quay Walker.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
From the 29, here's 2nd down and 5. Another tote for ETN. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. 47 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up 1st downs.
And they'll send the tight end in motion.
Now Lawrence.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brown. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Ball on the 8. It's 2nd and 4. Here's Lawrence.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
When you run into slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here, 3rd and 4.
Here's Lawrence to throw. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
In the red zone, precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
And his kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3.
So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
The Packers offense now. They get ready to head back onto the field.
Love going to break the huddle. Lead the Packers up here 1st and 10.
At their own 26. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Completed out left to Dobbs.
And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 41 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time.
Here's 2nd and 10.
To pass, here's Jordan Love. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. They will throw again here with Jordan Love.
He'll get it inside the 20.
And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 17-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll, and now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
To throw now, here's Love.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Love from the gun on 3rd down. Over the middle, complete. That's Reed. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Now McManus will line up for the field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by McManus is good, and they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. So it was 4th down and 1 in the red zone, but they elect to take just the 3.
And I'm a little bit surprised that that's exactly what they decided to do. I kind of thought that they would go for it in that situation. But sometimes I'm sure you just think to yourself, take the 3 points, put them in your pocket, and move on.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The Jaguars getting set to go.
It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
Got an open man, it's Washington. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. Now Lawrence.
And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Lawrence.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
The Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Green Bay's offense ready to go again.
And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. And we'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Here's Love. That's to Kraft, the tight end.
And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a 1st down.
Love now. That's complete to Dobbs.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Boy, everything clicking on this drive. He's 4 for 4 now, and that throw, maybe the best of the bunch. This offense is really humming, and they pick up another 1st down.
Going back to Love.
Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
from the 3, 2nd and a yard. Love from the gun. Touchdown, Packers! Jaden Reed as the first half is winding down. And the Packers will extend their lead here just before halftime.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Jaguars ready to go on offense for the final time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field. The Jaguars ready to go on offense for the final time in this first half as they go to work with 12 seconds on the clock. A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Now Lawrence to throw. A short throw there to Strange. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Jacksonville set to go again offensively. And maybe a chance for a quick completion and then a long field goal try. We'll see. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Complete to Washington. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Out come the Jaguars now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. No question that they're going to continue to look his way. 6 catches in the first half and now 7 on the game.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose. And that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
Lawrence, now this is ETN on the draw. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. In motion goes the tight end. Lawrence will throw. He'll get this out to the flat for ETN. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They'll try and set up the screen to ETN.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you can get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half.
Loving the Packers now with a 1st and 10
at their own 17-yard line.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 82 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot.
He's turning in a pretty impressive performance running the football, and a big reason why they have this nice lead.
And in days gone by, we would clip this out and put it up on the refrigerator, wouldn't we? Clip out the box score. Nowadays, not too many newspapers out there. Maybe you screenshot it online.
A penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
Now a chance to make that encroachment penalty really hurt. 1st and 5.
Love looking to throw it.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Short throw. He's got Kraft.
And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now we've got a 3rd and 4.
They went to their big body tight end on 2nd down in hopes that he could plow his way to a 1st down. But they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
Love. It finds his receiver, Watson.
Yeah, this won't be enough. Stopped a yard short after a gain of 3. 4th down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
On 2nd down, ETN once more.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. The Jags picking up the first down there, a gain of 12. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That good for 22 and a first down.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Lawrence running right on the option. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Straight ahead, ETN.
They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Draw play, ETN.
And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as they'll go for it on 4th down.
Going for it, here's ETN.
And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. He needed a yard. He didn't get anything. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop.
Love going to break the huddle, lead the Packers up here, 1st and 10.
At the 33-yard line.
He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
2nd down and 8.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs.
And he'll get about 2 there to the 36.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
Here comes 3rd down and 7.
Working out of the gun. Love. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. So possession goes over. Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
A shotgun snap and a give to ETN.
And he's taken down. It's a gain of 3 from the 17 to the 20. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Packer pressure, and down he goes.
Quay Walker came through to make the sack.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Packers ready to take over offensively.
And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Trayvon Walker makes the tackle.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it 1 more time, so make sure you get in shape.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Now Love. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On now is the Packers punter, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th.
Now Lawrence.
This will be caught by Brown. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A big one there for the Jags. 18 yards, 1st down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 6. Here's Lawrence. That's caught by Munt.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 10 yards there. Good enough for a Jags first down.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
From the 47 now, they'll work with a 2nd and 7. Brown goes in motion left. Lawrence going to throw again. This ball caught by Strange.
And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 31-yard line. That one good for 16 as the drive continues.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Out of the gun, it's Lawrence.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
In motion, the tight end.
It's a throw again as Lawrence.
Over the middle, open is Thomas. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Quick slant to Brown.
And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 18. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going, and right now it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander.
And the Packers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Packers on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 2. To throw now. Here's Love.
That is caught. And he is going to have a Packers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed it to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a first down.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
Here's Jacobs. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Josh Jacobs, a 5-yard touchdown run, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
McManus's point after is good, and they open the lead up now to 25. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Second and 10. Now Lawrence.
And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Lawrence.
And this is going to be incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Here we go. Got to have it. Lawrence. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
Now Lawrence to throw.
And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. A 3rd and long. You knew that he was going to throw it. He just couldn't find anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, but that was perfect execution of their nickel defense. That 5th defensive back, the extra defender, he really tightened up things downfield in coverage, and they were able to get to him in the pocket.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Tackle made by Devin Lloyd, the linebacker.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Trying to run for it with Jacobs.
And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
And now out come the Jags.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Looking to throw. Lawrence. Packer pressure, and down he goes.
Making that play on the pass rush, that's Devontae Wyatt.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front seven, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
He's going to let it fly. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Here's Logan Cook now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game.
So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.